It's 7 p.m. now, and I'm finishing a speech that I'm delivering tomorrow. It's a 45-minute slot, and I'm going to be talking to an audience of 100 people. It's very funny because I get very excited when I get those opportunities. I say yes immediately, and I'm like, okay, let's make it happen. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And then it comes the preparation time.
My name is Roberta Lucca. I'm an unconventional entrepreneur. My passion is to be bolder in everything I do. Do you dare to be different?
Maybe I'm too perfectionist. I really like to nail down the right message, to have the right angle, and really give value to the audience. I don't want to just go there and wing it and, talk about a bunch of things that don't really have any meaning to people. My process was basically, firstly, I had a really nice meeting, coffee with the organizer, and we kind of explored a few ideas. As an entrepreneur, I have such a range of skills. You have to build such a range of skills, from creating the company, building teams, delivering something, marketing, a bunch of things. It was a really good exploration to see, okay, do we go into the leadership side of things? Do we go into the kind of how we make games? Do we go into the specific games we're creating? And then we decided that actually the best value for his audience is to go through the way that Bossa Studios create games. How have we been evolving and perfecting our creative environment? So that was the first step, deciding on the specific topic of the speech. The second one was obviously me sitting down in front of the computer for probably a couple of hours to think, okay, how I'm gonna structure the thinking, and basically words. I was just like writing in Microsoft Word, no images, nothing. Of course, creating a narrative as well, right? So it's very important that you tell a story in your speech as opposed to just kind of show a bunch of facts. From there, I started to be like, a little bit crazy woman in front of the computer, rereading that over and over again, until the point that I was actually reading out loud in front of the computer. I printed and started to train in front of the mirror. That is very good for me for two reasons. One, I nail down certain collocations that I have because English is my second language. I know sometimes I try to get a point across that really doesn't make sense, so I need to realign some of my words and then go into detailing and kind of removing the things that are not necessarily important for the story I want to tell. I then sit down again and say, okay, what are the key words on each part of the speech that are important, that I must remember all the time? Cards, no one's gonna blame you for that. Unless you're doing like a big TED talk, then it's a different league completely. I then started to rehearse in front of the mirror with this, as opposed to the 4 pages of a bunch of text. So I'm gonna rehearse a little bit more, sleep a little bit early tonight so that tomorrow I can wake up, do my shake, go to the gym, and be ready for the day. Should be fun.
My life has soundtrack, and it's so important first thing in the morning to listen to my favorite songs. All these women, that's my biggest criticism. Women who go to the media and YouTube and stuff, and they talk about makeup, they talk about hair, they talk about dresses, but they don't talk about the real thing, which is how to be more confident, how to be yourself, how to be a better human being.
10 a.m. in the morning. It's freezing cold in London today because it's been snowing for the last 2 days. And as usual, I'm running to get to work. Let's go. I was very afraid of public speaking for a very long time. And I remember the first time that I felt comfortable on stage, that was like, wow, I can do it. My boss at the time said to me, look, you need to do this. You need to go on stage and you need to talk about your product, because it's like, you made it, you have to go there and do it. You cannot allow other people to do it. And I was freaking out. I was like, well, but I'm not sure. I'm not gonna be as good as so-and-so. I'm not gonna be as good as so-and-so. I'm very, very scared. I was like, you have to do it. Go for it. You're gonna learn and you're gonna be better. said, okay, challenge accepted. Did my whole preparation, etc. Very different to the way that I do nowadays, because at the time it was the first time I was doing that. So I talked to a lot of friends. Just before I go to the stage, electricity went off. Like literally everything stopped, like, There was no sound, no PowerPoint. And then the PR lady of the company comes to me and say, Roberta, what do you think? Are you okay? Are you still okay to go on stage and to do your talk? I was like, I'm not gonna have my slides, and I'm not gonna have anything, I'm not gonna have a microphone, I have to project my voice. It's like, oh my God. So that was me internally, right? Internally was like, ah! But externally it was like, yeah, of course, I'll make it happen, no worries. I still can't believe I did that. I went to stage, I looked at the guy like on the last row, and I said, can you hear me? And he was like this and smiling at me, and so I captured his smile internally. And I said, look, since I won't be able to talk about my product today, because there's no way, there's no slides or anything, I'm gonna talk about shoes. I don't know why I thought about that at the moment. It was totally spontaneous, but then it was like that crowd like laughing out loud. I made a joke without even realizing I did that. And at that moment, I was like, okay, so people are laughing and they're fine and I'm fine and I didn't die, so I can actually talk about what I need to talk.
So now it's half an hour before I go to the event, and I want to do the last pass of the speech. So I'm gonna go to a truth booth and do some practicing in front of the camera. I usually do in front of the mirror at home, but I'm very self-conscious that I'm in an office right now, so I'm just gonna do it in a private space. David Bowie, Bjork, the Beatles.
What do they have in common? They actually reinvented the way that they portrayed themselves to the world. We want also to keep creating things that are daring and they're new and they're revolutionary. Despite my terrible feelings of self-doubt and overthinking and rehearsing all the words that I said upstairs just now, I achieved my mission, which was to give value to the audience by sharing with them how they can create games and technology in a much faster way and validate with audiences in a much better way. One guy even said that he's going to reconsider the platform he's going to launch his new game. That means that the message got through. If you like what you watch, there's more coming every week. Subscribe and let's be bolder together.